break opportunities. Coaches, set up the drill. Let's get it, fellas.
You got it. You got it. Come on, man.
Yeah, boy!
Hey, he can ball, huh?
Ball coming, ball coming!
Outstanding effort. Now let's set up the next drill.
Turn it up! Turn it up!
Hey, he can ball, huh? Hey, hit me up.
I see you want to sharpen those passing skills. Let's get you going. Let's get everyone over here and get started. Here's what we're gonna do.
Get it started, man. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Hey, hit me up.
Let's get everyone over here and get started. Here's what we're gonna do.
You got it. You got it. Come on, man. Hey, ball, huh?
Hey, whose man is this?
Next time, man. Next time.
Let's get to work. Here's what we're gonna do.
Turn it up! Turn it up!
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Come on, box him out, man!
Hey, see you later, man.
I'm Candace Parker, and you're watching 2K TV.
On 2K TV this week, WNBA icon from the LA.
All right, so wrapping up our discussion of Che's recent hot streak, I just want to point out
come and join us for the Trading Card Day. The first 10,000 fans to the arena will receive a Trading Card pack. Arrive early to the fan zone and get them signed by Raptor and the Dance Pack. Just a reminder, folks, to make certain to be here for our figurine giveaway. Come to the game and get a figurine of your favorite mascot, the Raptor.
With the owner of a green sedan, 245 XL, California license, CJ N-O-R-D-E. Please contact your license and stereo.
And folks, we hope you'll join us for our appreciation giveaway. Up next, magnetic schedules.
A soaring CN Tower is seen from the waters of Lake Ontario, along with the rest of beautiful downtown Toronto, our setting today. Hi, everyone. Greetings. Now a chance to check out which rookies are the best. Still in February, so there is a lot of season left to go. But this group, folks, has separated themselves in the race for Rookie of the Year. You look at Jay all season long. He has proven again. And now it's headed down to David Aldridge, standing by from the sidelines. David?
For a long time, the Raptors playing in Canada was seen by some as a detriment to their competitive.
And the game is going global. You're right. Thank you, D.A. And a look at the starters for the Hornets. Monk and Batum, the wings. Brook Lopez is out there with Washington. And it's Brown in the point guard. And for Toronto, Lowry and Powell, the guards. Siakam at power forward with Gasol at center. And it's Johnson in at the 3 spot. You know, Smitty, teams obviously change throughout the season. They evolve into something different than they began the season, you know. But by this point in the season, what should have these teams already figured out and know they can count on?
I think defensively and the intangibles, you got to know that we can beat teams when they're ugly games, when they're not scoring the basketball on our defense and our rebounding. And I think also having great communication. They also should know by now who's the number 1 option, who's the number 2 option, who's the number 3 option. And there shouldn't be any confusion on who's the best player or who's the first option on your team.
You mapped that out well for us. The Hornets shooting their first free throw attempt on the night. The Raptors' Nick Nurse winning an NBA title in his first season. Greg is an NBA head coach.
The first time a head coach who'd also helmed a team in a foreign league has won it. Nurse often reminisces fondly on those days coaching in Europe. And this summer he was entrusted with coaching the Canadian national team at the FIBA World Cup.
Wing shot on the way. That one off the back iron and out. To Powell. He had 13 points in the win against Milwaukee. And that one drops.
He is just so tough to guard. He can fake you one way and then use that beautiful spin to just blow by you.
Lopez finds Brown. Over Lowry. It's hauled in by the Raptors. They put up a nice win against the Bucks the last time out.
Really consistent with their aggression. In that game, we saw very few lulls from an intensity standpoint.
A couple things stood out for me. They were relentless, and they also played under control. That's a deadly combination.
Whatever drawbacks Lopez may have, scoring in the post isn't one of them. He is a nightmare for opposing defenses to deal with down low.
The drive by Siakam.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish. Kicks it out the chain. No good on the 3.
It's been a rough quarter for him. Can't seem to find any kind of rhythm.
Here's Powell. He gives the team some steady offense, a bit under 10 points a game. Pass to Lowry. Here's Siakam. And Siakam throws it down.
You know, before coaches started running plays for him, this is where Siakam would get his points, on the offensive glass.
Pass to Monk. He kicks it to Lopez. Batum passes to Brown. Over Lowry. The putback. Great positioning on the putback.
Oh, how about the deft touch right there, guys?
He just guided that ball back up and in. Just a fingertip touch on the ball. First quarter of play. We're about 3 minutes in. Outside for Gasol. Ball's knocked loose, and it's out of bounds. The Raptors able to retain possession here. A new group in now for the Raptors. Serge Ibaka has checked in for Gasol. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson comes in for Johnson. Thomas checked in for Norman Powell. And it's Fred VanVleet in for Kyle Lowry. The Hornets also with the sub. Rozier's checked in. The Hornets have gone 3 of 7 from the field since we've gotten underway. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. And there's the foul. It's called on Toronto.
Talk about a guy who's willing to work. Shea did all 4 years of college. Fought through the combine. Fought through summer league. And look at him now.
Charlotte making some changes. Hernan Gomez is checked in for Lopez. Williams comes in for Washington. And it's Miles Bridges in for Nicholas Batum. And the pass to Hollis-Jefferson. And again, no good by Toronto.
Just enough coverage to bother that three-point attempt.
And out of bounds as the Raptors gain possession.
Boy, if you're the coach, you hate to see that kind of
here in the second quarter with a little over a minute gone. Lowry and Powell, the guards. Baca is out there with Marc Gasol. And it's Johnson in at the 3 slot. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto. Toronto's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. And in recent seasons, we've seen Serge Ibaka involved in some extracurricular. You get a little chippy out there.
Yes, indeed. Last season, he had a 3-game suspension. Penalties can escalate for repeat offenders, something he's got to be aware of.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. Shea in the last game against the Knicks was on a mission. He scored 48 points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what became a great exhibition on his part. When you look at the stat sheet, he was mind-blowing. It's hard to imagine he can follow it up tonight with that same level of production. Kevin, we'll see.
Thanks, David. Greg, it was obvious. He was having a lot of fun out there. Tremendous victory.
I'll tell you, he may have been enjoying himself, but whoever was matched up against him certainly wasn't.
What I like is they just kept calling his number. Sometimes we see coaches go away from what's working, and we wonder why.
And every so often, Steve, we'll see 2 teammates fighting over a rebound. You ever have a teammate upset with you for stealing his rebound?
A lot, Kevin. All the bigs I played with, those guys hated when guards came in. They would elbow you, and if you're on their same team, saying get out of here, especially for a lot of those bigs. It was a lot of rebound incentives in their contract, so they wanted to grab every rebound.
Here's Lowry. Plays it up and banks it in. Lowry's got the lead up to 3 now for Toronto.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
Brown kicks to Monk. There's the 3. Serge Ibaka pulls it in. And it's Lowry with the ball. Brings it up for the Toronto Raptors. They're off to Denver after this game as they apply their skills at the Pepsi Center. That sets off a 5-game tour for them. And it's blocked by Ibaka.
Great defense by Serge, a tremendous athlete, blessed with insane length and leaping ability.
Johnson finds Gasol. And they double up Gasol. Lowry passes to Powell. Shoots over Brown. The shot by Powell, no good.
Yeah, well, he's going to have some explaining to do on the sideline about why he took that shot.
Low percentage chance. If it's not there, give up the rock. Trust your teammates. They keep calling his number, which is partly how they've dug this hole.
3-pointer, Lowry, and the Raptors miss again.
In this first half, he is really falling in love with the 3. So far, not paying dividends.
And that's a special play coming from the 1 spot.
You know, his passing can take a backseat for that dunk. Wow.
It just shows you the versatility. This guy can do a lot of different things for you. Woo-wee.
Now here's Powell. He's guarded closely. 6 to shoot. Here's Johnson. It doesn't go for him. Great tee that time for Batum. Here's Shea. Count the bucket. And he's got a free throw coming up as well.
Tremendous effort by Che. Powers through the contact to complete the play, and he gets himself to the line.
And Toronto will go for a different look here. Siakam is checked in for Gasol. Hollis Jefferson comes in for Johnson. Thomas checked in for Norman Powell. And it's Fred VanVleet in for Kyle Lowry. And then for Charlotte, Hernan Gomez is checked in for Lopez. Williams comes in for Washington. And Terry Rozier subbed in for Monk. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. The 19-foot shot. Charlotte again missing.
No other way to put it. Just a poor shooting performance for him. But luckily, his teammates have picked up the slack.
Now, Siakam. He had 13 points in the win against Milwaukee.
And his defense was absolutely outstanding, especially his 2 blocks, which helped turn the game.
And that'll do it for the first half. A competitive game so far. Hornets lead by 1. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half. We've got second half action for you, and if the next couple quarters are similar to the first, this one could go down to the last possession. Charlotte in the lead. Here's who James Borrego is starting the second half with. Monk and Batum, the wing. Brook Lopez is out there with Washington, and it's Che in at the point.
He's a difficult guy to guard off the bounce. Che catches the defender a little out of position.
Tonight, he's gone 3 of 6 from the line.
And he buried a bunch of shots from the stripe in that last game.
First free throw is good. And both free throws good for Che. Raptors trail by 3. Johnson outside. Passes to Siakam. Here's Powell. Gasol on the high post. Johnson, a wide open look. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. Johnson's got his first points of the game. Hornets shooting pretty good tonight at 48%.
As he enters his mid-30s, Marc Gasol showing no signs of slowing down. If anything, I think he's a better all-around basketball player.
Now here's Powell. Not a lot of room. Pass to Lowry. Johnson surveying the floor. 14 feet away. Connects. The jumper drops. And it's 6 points for Kyle Lowry. And through his first 8 seasons in the NBA, Marc Gasol made a total of 12 3-pointers. Nowadays, Greg, he'll make more than that in a month.
And you ask around, he's always been capable. A great shooting.
You know, Steve, the 2018 rookie class really burst out onto the scene. What has impressed you most about that group?
I think a couple things, Kevin. First of all, they're very talented. They handle themselves extremely well off the court. But most of those guys were able to last through the rookie wall and play pretty much 75 to 82 games.
They really put their fingerprints on their team, didn't they?
They did, and a lot of those guys are leaders. One of the league's best-kept secrets, Pascal Siakam out of Cameroon, discovered as a raw teenager at Basketball Without Borders back in 2012.
Toronto shooting their first shots from the stripe in this game.
And 75% on the season as a unit from the free throw line.
First one falls for him. Smitty, you're talking about Siakam. The Raptors president is from Nigeria and very active in the Basketball Without Borders program.
You're totally right. A prospect like Siakam was on his radar. The late first-round pick in 2016 was more than rewarding where he ended up at.
And the Hornets making a change here. Hernan Gomez is checked in.
And the most improved player in the league last season, Pascal Siakam, got better in every statistical category.
.135 left in the third. And the rebound goes to the Hornets. Hernan Gomez has got 4 rebounds now tonight. And it's those diamond-in-the-rough players that so often elevate the top teams. And, Greg, that's what the Raptors found in Pascal Siakam.
No doubt. The 27th pick back in 2016. Now a full-time starter on a rookie contract, just over $2 million this season. He is due for a big raise.
Bridges with the board.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
I really like Che's finishing ability on the break. He's money and he's deadly.
Van Vliet with it. The scoring numbers have been solid for him. He's averaging just under 14 points a game. Ibaka right side. Over Hernan Gomez. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
High percentage look for him. But bottom line, they're not all going to go down. He was able to simply lay it in over the top of the smaller man.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Thomas kicks to Ibaka. And that time, also a missed shot. And he's going up for the alley-oop. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. There's Hollis Jefferson. That one wide left. It's been all about Che for the Charlotte Hornets. His production has been flowing as he's tallied 20 points and looks to be planning for more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And how about a look now at our assist of the game? Brought to you by State Farm.
Just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
Execution. This is what you practice every day. These guys are professionals. Beautiful play.
And with the fourth quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. And so Van Vliet will bring it up for Toronto. Down by 12. Siakam and Ibaka, the duo down low. Powell is out there with Fred Van Vliet. And it's Hollis Jefferson in at the small forward. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto. And the baseline jumper, no good. Hornets shooting 49% on the game. They'll take that. And that one's good to go from Che.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from the paint.
Van Vliet finds Ibaka. And stolen by Che. And here comes Brown, leading the fast break. Looking for Ibaka. He gets it there. And here is Van Vliet. Knocked loose and taken away by Brown. And a fast break now for the Hornets. And finished off by Brown.
This is what Che gives you. Excellent at both ends.
A few possessions into the fourth quarter, just over a minute played. Siakam outside. It's good. With that basket, he's now 5 for 9.
Yeah, he's in such a great rhythm right now. Makes sense to get him the ball any way you can.
Let him decide whether to shoot it, whether to pass it. He's your catalyst right now.
And the Hornets call time here. There are certain players, as we know, who can really back you up and get you on your heels and then They hit the brakes, and they hit you with a pull-up jumper. Very tough to defend.
Kevin, you said it best. Being able to hit the brakes and stop on a dime, I think is James Harden, Steph Curry, C.J. McCollum, Kyrie Irving. Those are some of those names where guys can go in fast pace, fast motion, then stop and pull up and be on balance and knock down the shot.
Pass to Brown. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. And here's the upcoming schedule for Charlotte. On Sunday, they'll be matching up against Eric Bledsoe and the Milwaukee Bucks. And then on Tuesday, they'll be matching up against DeMar DeRozan and the San Antonio Spurs.
And if I'm this team, I'm looking at this as a barometer to see how we stack up against some of the top teams in the league. They'll have to be at their best. But if they come out of this with some success, I think it'll build momentum for the rest of the run.
To the paint, here's Lowry. And they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
That's a very close call. I'm sure he thinks it's a clean block, but looks like it was on the way down.
Free throw good, Lowry.
You know, a multi-time All-Star. He's an NBA champion now. It's taken some time, but Lowry has finally silenced his critics.
Raptors trail by 13. The pass to Siakam. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow. How good, and the assist goes to Gasol. Gasol's got 3 assists tonight.
The capacity at 7'1" to just survey the floor. You're not going to impede Gasol's vision.
And Stanley Johnson is going to pick up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. And that one's good to go from Shea. Brown's got 28 points for the game.
Tenacious off the bounce. Shea playing through contact and finishing.
Now, here's Siakam. Good D by Lopez.
And his pure defensive effort changed that shot from an easy one to a tough one.
And you know, technically, it's a high percentage look, but this is why we play the game.
Toronto calls timeout. They're trailing by 15. There's 1:54 left in the fourth quarter. Now the presentation of our Jordan player of the game, Shea.
And guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
Taking on the defending champs always adds a little extra meaning to the game. And with the way he's gotten after it tonight, it was clear this one meant a lot to him. So it's Toronto now. 15-point game. Here's Powell. Siakam outside. Shot clock at 5. Good for his 6th make in a dozen attempts, shooting 50% with that basket.
You know, he's able to shoulder more and more of the load offensively. Siakam's star continues to rise.
Shea dishes to Monk. Back to Shea. Now, here's Monk. He's tightly guarded. Shoots over Powell. It's hauled in by the Raptors.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face. And clearly, we will not be witnessing a spirited comeback tonight, albeit as exciting as that would be. This was an excellent all-around performance for Charlotte.
And they had to battle for this win. There were times when it looked like it was maybe slipping away a bit, but they never let that happen, which I thought was a real credit to them.
And that's a product of their mental toughness. Anytime the flow of the game turned against them, instead of caving, they just dialed it up a notch and were able to pull away.
And with this win, they'll end up notching another victory for this year's campaign, win number 33.
And once they polish off this win, they'll be one more victory away from sweeping the season series.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Che.
He really played at his preferred pace, never let adjustments by the defense speed him up or slow him down.
A new group in now for the Raptors. Boucher is checked in. Miller comes in for Johnson. Davis is checked in for Norman Powell. And Thomas subbed in for Kyle Lowry.
You have to give Pascal Siakam a lot of credit. He's continued to improve the shooting percentage both from the field and the line.
And it's the Raptors' ball. They trail by 9 points. Here's Miller. And he drops it in from the low post. 26 seconds left in the game. From past the arc. The shot, no good. Brown drives in. Good work there as it goes. Che's got 30 points.
That's a good read. Chase sees the opportunity and goes. I like the way his mind works.
From deep. Rubio with the rebound.
And he's a good shooter from outside, but not sure from that deep.
You know, we're seeing players move further and further back to create space, but that does make it a tougher shot.
So no problem for Charlotte as they get the win. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, G, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they didn't have too many problems with that tonight.
And that'll do it, folks. For great